Hi guys, and welcome to the Charlton vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland do go to the Valley tomorrow, 3 p.m. Kick-off, of course, trying to keep hold and try and keep a little bit of momentum going after that amazing 3-0 win away from home against Wigan last weekend. But of course it is Charlton. We have a lot of history playing this team. They're a good side, but they haven't been in a great run of form as of recently, particularly over the last month or so. But, in saying that, I've seen a lot of people on social media saying, it's a great time to play Charlton, which, of course, on paper it is. But how many times have we seen it where we've played sides that, they haven't won in, like 3 months, or they haven't won an away game, or there's some certain stat that's been absolutely amazing, insane, like, a team hasn't won on the road in, 50 attempts or something, and Sunderland comes to town, and there we go. And we hand them 3 points. So, for me, form, when it comes to Sunderland, for me, it just doesn't mean that much. It doesn't mean that much. I could easily say, Charlton have had a really bad 5-6 games or what have you, so we should piss it 3-0. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I wish it would. I wish it would be as easy as that, but I can't see that happening. But looking at Charlton's results in recent times, if you do look at the teams we're playing, in fairness to them, it hasn't been great, but the teams they have been playing, they were teams that are sort of around the sort of top 7 or 8, or at least they were teams that were, at the time of them playing them, they were in form. So we'll have a look anyway. So they took on Sheffield Wednesday away from home. They got beat 2-0. Before that, MK Dons, they played them at the Valley. They lost 2-0. Before that, at the Valley again, they got beat by 4 goals to 0 against Oxford. And they did get a mountain off there with about half an hour left in that game. Then there was Wigan. Of course, we know that Wigan were a difficult side. They lost to them 2-1 away from home. Before that, they got beat by Bolton 2-1. We got beat by them 6-0. It just shows how inconsistent this frigging league is, doesn't it, really? Because, as we say, we beat Wigan 3-0 away from home. Charlton got beat 2-1. They only lost 2-1 to Bolton away from home. We got battered 6-0. So it just shows you anyone could beat anyone on the day. It sometimes form, particularly in this league, it just goes right out the window. It's just who can try and somehow remain the most consistent. And that is the word for me, consistency. We need to try and remain consistent up until the end of the season to give us the best chance and to solidify our place within the playoffs. I've said it countless times. It would take an absolute miracle for us to sneak into top 2 now. I think we'd have to win the remainder of our games, and we'd need a hell of a fall from either Wigan or Rotherham. I think Rotherham pretty much walked it anyway. But we're going to need some teams to do us some massive, massive favours, and we're going to have to win the remainder to give us the best chance. And with Sunderland, it's not going to happen. So it has been some time. So their last victory came on the 5th of February, and that was a 3-2 win over Wimbledon. So there's been 5 defeats on the bounce for Charlton. So yes, you could say it's a good time to play them. But, like I say, form means nothing, not only in this league, but for Sunderland. Now, for Sunderland, of course, we did beat Wigan 3-0. And when I do look at the lineup we did use that day, for me, there was a kind of, not a lack of attacking players, because there definitely wasn't, but you've got players like Clark, you've got that pace, Dietrich, who I'm not a huge fan of, as I've said before, but the pace there, we didn't have too much pace on the wings, but what we did have is a very structured sort of disciplined system, formation, and a load of lads on the pitch that just worked their arses off. At times it wasn't pretty, but we managed to control the game against Wigan for large parts, which is what we need. So for me, when I'm going to show you my preferred 11 for this game, it's going to be largely untouched, but there is going to be one change that I will throw in that I will discuss, of course, in my preferred 11. So this is my preferred 11 for the game against Charlton this weekend. So as I did mention, it is largely unchanged apart from just the one. So we'll start with the keeper, Patterson. In recent weeks, I've been calling for Hoffman to come into play because Patterson has not impressed me, or at least he didn't impress me up until the game against Wigan, where he just looked a lot more commanding. He also made a very, very good couple of saves, one-on-one with the keeper, and usually kind of flaps those kind of opportunities. But, a game against Wigan with everything that was at stake in that game as well, for him to perform and give us some saves like that, it'll absolutely do him the world of confidence. So for me, Pato remains in goal. Back four remains the same. Sirkin, who had said for a long time he needs the rest, it's almost as if he just said, no, I'm absolutely sound. And he played an absolute stormer on that left-hand side. He looked back to be his best, or at his best, should I say. Jamali, I'm right in the middle. This could be a little bit of, maybe a bit too much, given Jamali's long-term injury. Maybe Doyle will return to the fray, I'm not too sure. I haven't watched the pre-match presser as of yet, or at least whilst I'm recording this, the pre-match presser hasn't taken place yet. But Jamali and Bailey Wright, all I'm thinking in my head is don't change your winning side, although I have made the one change. Slightly contradict myself there. But then Winchester at right back. Now, I would love to, again, I keep on saying this with every preferred 11, I keep on wanting to put Winchester in the middle and remove Evans, because, you know, I'm not going to dig at Evans in this one. I'm digging at him all the time. But you know how I feel about him. I don't think he's a great player, but he was in the centre of a side that has just come away from a 3-0 win against Wigan. So I think it would be very unfair of me, and it's a bit too fickle for me to pull him out just for the sake of it. So, you know, there you are. For those who think I'm fickle, I'm not too bad. So we've got Evans and Matete in the middle. Matete was an absolute beast in the middle against Winchester. Sorry, against Winchester. Definitely wasn't taking on Winchester. He was taking on Wigan. And he absolutely dominated that midfield right in the face. He just doesn't leave them alone. He does not leave the opposition alone. Constantly harrying them. And that's what you want. Someone in your face for playing for you anyway. Definitely not against. But going forward, Clark. I put Clark on instead of Embleton. I just feel like at times Embleton didn't offer as much as he could. And I just think Clark, you know, again, with no disrespect to Charlton, but Charlton aren't quite at the same level as Wigan. So to have someone who is more of an attacking player, of course Embleton does attack, but he does try and track back as well. And he does have that sort of, what's the word? Maybe it's the kind of structural awareness when it comes to systems. Maybe Embleton has that a little bit more intelligence and a little bit more experience. But Clark, he has that sort of brute force going forward, that rawness, that pace, that skill. And I think with Pritchard and Gooch alongside him as well, I think that would just give us such a good opportunity to remain dominant in the final third as well. And of course, Ross Stewart as well. So that for me would be my preferred starting 11, with no injuries, of course. Now, of course, the last time I made a prediction, I predicted a Sunderland 4-1 loss, which since that, everyone has been telling me, please, Joel, just keep on predicting a 4-1 loss. So I could very easily do that, but I think it would just get a bit daft and boring after a while. But if I do predict a 4-1 loss and Sunderland win 3-0, then we might be onto something here now. We might be onto something. So let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say that I am predicting a 4-1 loss. But on the side, I'm going to give a second prediction. So that 4-1 loss has been put in place. That has been put in place just in case we do win 3-0. But I do think, strangely, you know, my head is telling me it's going to be a draw. But I am going to go for a Sunderland 1-0 win. I can't see it being a great affair. Charlton, I think, are going to be right up for it, trying to put this bad run of form of theirs. They're trying to get rid of that, of course. They're at home. They want to get back to winning ways. They get some points on the board after losing 5 games in a row. But yeah, I am going to go for a Sunderland 1-0 win. The 4-1 defeat is in place, don't worry. But I do think it is going to be a Sunderland 1-0 win, and it is going to be Pritchard with another set piece. I'm going to go for that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for, and hopefully this will be a game in which we continue our winning. I say winning run of form. We've won 1 game, but you know what I mean. Just keep it ticking. My review for this game will be on the Sunday. I've got my rota for this month for work, and it's fell horribly for me. I am working 24-hour shifts for 3 out of 4 Saturdays. So you won't be, I think, only on one of the Saturdays you'll be getting an actual review to a game on the Saturday. It'll be the day after if I can actually manage to squeeze in the game at work. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So it could be a pretty shit month for reviews, but we'll have to see. But either way, there we go. You guys let me know, who would you choose? Who would you select for your starting 11 for this game? And what is your score predictions as well? It's always very, very interesting. I'll read all comments down below. And please keep hitting the like videos. Sorry, keep hitting the like videos. I can't talk. It's early in the morning, guys, when I'm recording this. Please keep hitting the like button on these videos. It's so appreciated. And if you are new, you're not subscribed as of yet, please do as well. It's free and it's so appreciated. But if you've enjoyed, yeah, thank you, and stay jammy. See you later.